Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today we're going to do the June 2025 Tarot and Oracle reading. Now before we begin, I want you guys to know I do offer a personal month ahead reading on my website, spiritpsychic.org. Use the code June 2025 this week only for $10 off of my month ahead reading, okay? Now, let's begin. You can take a look at all three groups on screen and select whichever one you feel most drawn to. A lot of you will be drawn to more than one or even all of them. That's fine. We are going to do a reading that focuses on what you need to know for your best interest, your highest and greatest good, what's going to happen in the month of June that you should be aware of. The future is changeable. You have free will, and I want to let you in on the energies that will be occurring for you so that way you can navigate to your highest and greatest good. That's always the intentions of my reading, okay? And while you're here, hit the subscribe button because we are so close to 10,000 subscribers, okay? Now, we have group number 1 with the Goldstone, which is very sparkly. If my camera wants to focus, you can kind of see the sparkles. We have group number 2 with the Dalmation Jasper. And we have group number 3 with the Cherry Quartz. Once you've selected your group or groups, you can skip ahead to your reading using the timestamps, or you can watch through. Let's begin. Okay, group number 1, welcome. You guys selected the Goldstone, and I want to say right off the bat, the Goldstone is a beautiful stone for ambition and connecting to you to your personal dreams and desires. So right away, if you selected group number 1, what are your personal goals and desires? Nothing to do with relationships or love or other people personally, okay? What are your goals, dreams, and desires? Is it to have a successful business, to have great money flow, to have a great routine with your health and fitness and diet? Whatever your personal goals and dreams are, there's going to be some pretty big wins for you in June. I already feel it just simply due to the fact that you were pulled in to the Goldstone. There's a lot of energy moving when it comes to your personal ambitions and goals, especially really long held dreams and goals. Okay. If you've been working at something for a really long time, you've run into just delay after delay, thinking to yourself, man, I thought I would be way more ahead than I am now. I really feel for you that there will be quite a bit of movement happening in the month of June. So let's see what tarot card you pulled now. This is from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I use this tarot deck as an oracle deck because it is really, really deep, and the messages from the booklet go so hard. So let's see. Oh, wow. You have the Ace of Air in reverse with this beautiful dragon spirit. First off, let's talk about dragon spirits, just period. They are spirits that are extremely intelligent, way more intelligent than any human could be. Even like the collective of humanity. Like, I just don't know. Dragons, to have the dragon spirit connect with you is such a blessing because they bring a lot of movement into your life. They bring a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Now, with Ace of Air, the keywords to this card is new ideas, personal truths, paradigms, originality, individualization, motivation, choices, and belief. So really connected to the Goldstone. It definitely feels like there's a lot of illumination happening when it comes to what's been blocking your dreams and goals. So this is coming out in reverse. Here's what the potential blockage is that you're overcoming in June. The Ace of Air reversed wants you to know that if you're holding on to outdated beliefs, opinion, or fears that are exerting an influence on your decision-making ability. Oh, it just wants to know that. I read that wrong, sorry. Past hurts, past failures and mistakes, loss and thoughts and opinions of others, and fear of upsetting others if we disagree or choose a way that is different to their own. All of these things can hamper our ability to implement new ideas or a new way of being. Over time, they become impediments that can limit and restrict. So something I'm picking up on, group number 1, this dragon spirit is bringing you the wisdom that you already have the ideas in your mind of things that you should implement. in order to achieve your goals, dreams, and ambitions, okay? So you already have all of the tools, all of the wisdom, all of the ideas you need to experience the reality that you want to experience. Now, here's the kicker. If you want the reality that you want right now, right here, right now, you want to manifest big in June, the dragon spirit is saying, shorten the gap between when you get an idea that comes through from your intuition and when you actually take action on it, okay? So I'll give you an example of this. The example I always use is that I had the idea to start my YouTube channel. It took me 5 years to actually post the first video. Okay, can you imagine how much further along I could have been if I would have taken action on that idea immediately? So this wisdom applies to everybody because it's like you set the intention for something you want to experience, right? And it could be literally anything. Like, oh, I want to buy a big plot of land and do this and that. Or I want to be in a healthy relationship. I want to have lots of money. The second you manifest, or the second you set that intention, the second you plant that seed, law of attraction, there's no delay in the law of attraction. Immediately, you will have your next step on what you need to do to manifest that. So the problem, the delays when it comes to making your dreams a reality, it's actually your own ability to take action on the intuitive thoughts and ideas and opportunities that come your way right after you set that manifestation. So pay attention to your dreams, goals, and ambitions. Chances are there are quite a few ideas in your mind currently for how to make these things a reality. June should be the month where you take action on all of them without delay. Just get started, do it, okay? You're holding on to a lot of things that you're processing, working through, blah, 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 from the past. And that internal work has sort of been getting in the way of you taking action. Okay, and if you look at all of the years you've held certain ambitions, you can see the reason why you haven't fully reached those goals, reached those ambitions. You can look back on the years and be like, well, I was dealing with a lot emotionally. I was moving through this. I was moving through that. Group number 1, you're always going to be moving through something. You're always going to be processing some sort of emotion, some sort of experience. Okay? Take action. Don't wait. The Ace of Air reversed asks that you look within to discover what is preventing you from acting. Are your own beliefs sabotaging your future goals? Wow. I really do feel, if you selected group number 1, this month has a ton of potential to be a life-changing month in terms of reaching your goals. Okay? But that's why, like, this dragon spirit, it's coming through with extreme and utter clarity. Take the action that you know will change this. You already have the ideas in your mind if you select group number 1. Crystal clear, by the way. There's no guesswork about this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're like, I don't know what ideas you're talking about, group number 1 might not be for you. Okay, crystal clear, your work is already cut out for you, and it's just a matter of taking action. So get started today. What's stopping you? Oh, well, I don't have the energy, or I have to do this, I have to do that. You're delaying yourself at the end of the day, okay? So the rune that is coming out for you is Hagalaz, and it's coming out in reverse. You know, this reminds me of that Nigerian catchphrase that I hear so often, which is, my enemies have won today. You know, and you say this whenever something or someone's getting on your nerves, or somebody is really, you know, getting you angry, upset, whatever. Like, my enemies have succeeded today. And I think Hagalaz in reverse really hones in that message. So Hagalaz is the rune of disruption. And it actually goes hand in hand with this Ace of Air message here, where it's like something feels to be disrupting your progress, your goals in life. It's like you may have been on quite a roll, and then things have gotten disrupted. And this feels to be emotional and relationship patterns or issues that are disrupting it, okay? Hagalaz is an unfortunate rune in any reading, but when it is in the inverted position, the ills that it foretells have more to do with lack of forethought, bad planning, misplaced optimism, and badly timed actions that can, rather than being victimized by external forces. So this really hones in on that message of like, there's been delays and disruptions when it comes to your progress in life, specifically with your personal goals, career, health, etc. The things that you want for yourself, like I want to make this amount of money, I want to be able to do this, I want this wardrobe, I want to have this like level of health. Those sort of goals have been delayed for you. You're not dreaming it, you're not making it up. You may be thinking like, what's wrong? Why is this so heavily delayed? And it's not other people. It's not anything external. It is your own filter. Okay? It is something within. Inside of you, you're allowing external situations. And by external, I mean anything physical. So this could even be your own body, your own friends, relationships, etc. You are letting them be the center, the first priority, right? It's like, well, I can't, start my journey of going to the gym because right now I'm going through relationship issues. So I need to figure out these relationship issues before I really have the motivation to do that. Okay, well, what you're saying to yourself with that belief is that something outside of your control, well, it's not really outside of your control, relationships, right? But, let's just say the relationship issue at hand is something that your partner's going through. That's out of your control. That's external. You're letting something external affect an internal goal, an internal dream of yours, right? And you can go really, really in depth with this. Like, oh, I can't be happy. I can't feel at peace within myself until I have money, until I have health, until I have love, relationship. Again, those are all external things. Spiritual mastery. If you can't experience peace in all of these different predicaments, that's something that you should work through. Wow, I just totally butchered what I was trying to say. It doesn't matter if you are like dead broke or if you have a horrific autoimmune issue or your partner's going through a tough time and it's really taking a toll on you. These things should not affect your inner peace, your personal peace. And I feel like 99.9% of people, they let those things affect their internal peace. It is easier said than done to master the art of remaining in your emotional regulation and in internal peace. But essentially, Hagalah's in reverse. Month of June, you guys are getting a grip, getting a hold of your own emotional patterns. Okay, and for a lot of you guys, there's so many different elements going into this. Maybe some of you guys just started like a new supplement that maybe you were very deficient in. It helps you regulate your emotions better. Or maybe for others of you, like you are deciding simply to have personal boundaries, not letting outside influences get in the way of your centeredness, your mental clarity, your motivation to take the actions towards your personal goals. You're just not letting all of these different things affect the actions you take towards your goals and dreams. That is the forefront of June as a month for you. No longer being victimized by external forces. Caution is vital when Hagalah's is in the reverse position. Its message is to think things through one more time. Don't be impulsive and don't gamble on the long shot. Yeah, okay. So lots of beautiful messages there. You're not waiting anymore. That's been a big theme that's been coming through in many people's readings recently. It's just in the air. No more waiting. Waiting to be happy, waiting to take action on a certain goal, dream, wish, or inner peace until like, oh, I'll let myself relax and be at peace when my partner graduates school. Or I'll be taking action on, actually saving up for that dream house after my kids move out of the house. Like whatever the heck, I don't know. You're no longer letting external factors be what prevents you from taking action. We have the angel of love. Relationship issues are resolved this month is what I'm seeing. I'm feeling a lot of love in the air. Okay, conflict resolution has been a big theme in the collective recently as well. Anything that really you weren't seeing eye to eye with some of the people in your life, or you were allowing other people's dramas become your drama. Like, for example, let's just say you have a family member, a partner, or a friend who's going through a rough chapter in their life. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they are going through job loss or grief. It's like they may be on a months long dark what is it called, dark night of the soul, right? And it's like, you don't have to cut this person off to find peace again, right? Like, you shouldn't either, depending on the situation. Now, if it's like they're being really toxic, abusive, that's a whole different story. But if this is a loving, amazing person that you want in your life, and they just so happen to be going through a difficult chapter on their own, but you're the type of person where it's like you take on other people's issues, you need to really seriously master the art of not trying to solve other people's problems all the time. Let them figure things out on their own. Let them show up in your relationship how they want to show up. Just let them be. Don't try to solve all their issues. And especially do not delay your own happiness, peace, and centeredness until they're in their right mind. Sometimes I have friends who I won't even hear from them for several months at a time because they're just going through their own thing. And that's fine, because it's like, okay, well, during that time, I got other hobbies I can focus on. I got other people I can focus on. That's fine. I'm not going to sit with them and, hold their hand and deeply involve myself in their personal issues if, they don't want me there. And even in really close, intimate relationships, such as your spouse, your romantic partner, right? You live with them, you see them every day. If they're going through a dark chapter in their life, like let's just say a loved one of theirs passed away, they're moving through grief, they're a little bit more depressed. And that affects you because you live with them. They're not as happy and as chipper as they used to be. And perhaps you're not as happy and chipper as a result. So this is a great opportunity for you to what? Take action on your personal dreams and goals instead. Create a little nest of you-ness because you are not the one going through that, right? So that should not really be affecting your well-being. Okay, now if it's your loved one that passed away, if it is your drama that you're dealing with, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, you're going to have to process that. But if you put your life on pause and try to process other people's emotions for them constantly, you're never going to be at peace. And if you're never at peace, you're never going to be in the growth zone, as I like to call it, which is that zone right out of your comfort zone where you're taking action on all of your brilliant ideas that are new. The growth zone is when you are going to the gym, getting muscular. You are working on a cool side business project that you had in mind for the longest time. You are going to school to learn something new. You're meeting new people, whatever your thing is. The growth zone is something that you should be in at least once every day. Okay. Assuming you're not in like a critically survival mode in life, right? Doing one thing a day to grow as opposed to just remain in the status quo, right? And this is especially great advice for business owners as well. The status quo are the daily things that you need to keep your business running. The growth zone are tasks and actions that you can take that will bring your business to the next level. Now, you can apply this to any area of life. This could work for health and fitness as well. This can work for financial riches as well, like whatever it may be. There's the growth zone, okay? And I think you're really mastering boundaries when it comes to your closest relationships, letting other people move through their own issues. And you know what the funny thing is, group number one, is that oftentimes when you let go and you stop trying to control the outcomes of other people's life decisions and you stop trying to process their emotions for them, life actually kind of speeds up as a result anyways, and they actually tend to get better anyways. It's kind of like the more often you solve someone's problems for them, they really don't, I feel like they almost remain in the problems longer. Whereas when you just like sit back, relax, and let them figure it out on their own, I don't know. It's just, there's a beauty that comes with it. And also it prevents resentment, which improves your relationships anyways. So I'm getting quite a romantic month for a lot of you. If you are already dating or in a relationship, there's a lot of romance in the air. If you're single, not interested, that's fine as well. There's a lot of self-love for everybody watching, because of these boundaries that you are setting in place, and the self-love, because taking action on your dreams and goals, that is self-love. That's a form of self-love. Okay, self-love isn't just rose quartz and bubble baths. It is doing the hard thing and showing up every day in your growth zone at least once a day. I think 90% of life is the boring status quo maintenance, doing things such as cleaning your kitchen counter, going grocery shopping, planning a dinner, making the bed. But that 10% is an opportunity for growth, for change, for exploration, experimentation. And these are the waking hours, the waking non-working hours. Okay. So yeah, I love that there's love in the air. And also I feel like just generally, family and friendship relationships may be improving or expanding as well. We have the 5th chakra with Archangel Gabriel. I love this, upright. You guys are feeling more and more comfortable to put yourself out there. I'm seeing an increased sense of comfort when it comes to communication of all sorts. I don't know why family communication is standing out to me. If you have the type of family where you don't really talk about anything, for some reason, I feel like you are happy and willing to just say what's on your mind more for whatever reason. Also, something that I'm finding here is communication may be improving externally as well. The people in your life may be communicating more when it comes to where they've been emotionally and what's going on in their world. So that's really nice. I really do feel like being seen and being loved is a feeling that's increasing this month as well, as a result of you taking this advice that's coming through in this reading. You will feel more seen, more loved. And also, when you stop chasing, trying to fix other people's problems, trying to improve your relationship 24/7, and you focus instead on your own goals, dreams, wishes, it's funny how people treat you differently, okay? Because that you can take care of yourself, you're pouring into you, you're making yourself more radiant, and as a result, people want to be a part of that. They want to show up for you. They'll figure out their own stuff. I just think of all of the people and we all know someone like this for the longest time, especially a lot of women, older women. They center their whole entire life around servitude, serving their husbands, their children, etc. I mean, that's just, an unfortunate thing about society. There's so many very kind of depressed older women. And I know this firsthand. I have a whole entire family of women. And it's like, they don't even know how to identify what makes them personally happy, or they do. And oh my God, there's so many older women, I'm kind of going off on a side tangent now, who will pull younger women aside and be like, listen, don't get married, don't have kids. The reason for that is because they resentfully centered their life around their relationships and other people. And it's an option that they could have had that I guess generationally isn't very thought of in the society that most of us live in, is letting other people deal with their own BS, That's an option too. And in the meantime, doing your own thing. And you know what? Something that's been on my mind recently is that selfish people tend to live so long. I was listening to this video about this nurse who worked at a cancer treatment center, and somebody asked her what can I do to prevent cancer? And she's like, literally nothing. Everyone under the sun gets cancer except for assholes. So be an asshole because they live forever. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? That is kind of true. That is kind of true. It seems to be that sometimes the most narcissistic, self-centered people end up being the biggest winners in life and getting exactly what they want. And I actually think there's a lot of power in that. Not being narcissistic, not stomping all over people, but I really do think that a very large majority percentage of the population overly are in this servitude energy of other, and they aren't selfish enough. It's imagine if a good-hearted person, and I think most people are good-hearted people, imagine if they were actually self-confident and actually put themselves first, but are still a good person, helping other people along the way and sharing their success with others. Imagine if those people believed in their own dreams, were confident in themselves, got the success they deserved, and like just didn't center their lives around their relationships, pleasing other people, etc. Like, imagine. And I think it is true as heck, you know, your body will literally develop health problems if you keep putting yourself last. I mean, like, dealing with trauma after trauma, it'll literally give you an autoimmune disorder. I know this firsthand. Like, for years of my life, I had an autoimmune problem that was a mystery. Completely resolved it. And a big part of me resolving that was putting myself first. You know, not in a selfish way, but anyways, guys, I'm totally getting off topic here. This is a pivotal, life-changing month for group number 1 as a result of all this stuff we're talking about. Okay, so let's see what the tarot has to say. You have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I think there's going to be some long-term developments and growth in your finances, in your health, and in your commitments, relationship commitments. But it's going to start really coming in. Again, it all depends on your willingness to actually take action. We have the Emperor in reverse, exactly. See, like, the Emperor is somebody who's very organized. They run a whole entire empire, right? Multiple countries, multiple nations. And they have to take some pretty decisive, swift-moving action in order to manage that. When the Emperor comes out in reverse, to me, and especially with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, to me, this is a lack of action. You know, this is too much earth energy. It's the shadow element of earth energy, which is a resistance to change, a resistance to action. It's too slow moving. And a lot of you guys may have been thinking, like, my progress has been too slow in my ambitions and my goals. You're right. It has been. It has been blocked. Okay. Your mind already knows the answer. Your mind already knows what it has to do. So it's just a matter of taking that action and making time for that and prioritizing it in your schedule. Ace of Pentacles, new commitment coming in. I think also with the Angel of Love, a lot of you guys, there's going to be a deeper sense of committedness in your romantic relationship and relationships in general. Okay. And this comes in, it's not a coincidence. It will come in simultaneous to you having a deeper commitment to yourself and your personal goals and actually staying on a committed, action-oriented schedule with that. Your internal life is reflected externally. The observer is the same thing as what's being observed, right? So if you want to see that commitment in love that you want, you better commit to yourself and your own goals and dreams and well-being. Okay. It'll come in simultaneously because that's just how life works. Ace of Swords in reverse. I mean, it's clear as day. Ace of Swords in reverse. This is, you know, a missing air element, which is action, swift action. And look, actually, you have this card twice because Ace of Air in reverse with this dragon spirit, that is the same thing as the Ace of Swords in reverse, right? That's the missing ingredient. Swift moving action. The second a new idea comes in that feels aligned with something that you want to manifest, try to take action on it. Close the gap between when that idea comes in and when you take action. And that's how you're going to become a master manifester, where it's like you decide, I want this, and then it comes in just like that. Okay. There are ambitions, goals, dreams, manifestations that you planted years ago. Where's it at? You need to close the gap. That's the problem. That's your blockage, okay? Month of June, you're closing that gap, hopefully. We have the Three of Pentacles. Yes, this is you being admired, appreciated for all that you do, both in your love life and relationships, as well as work, career, finance, okay? People are going to notice you because you are putting yourself first and foremost. And then we have the World in reverse. You are coming out of a massive karmic chapter in your life where, your existence was not centered around your true desires that you want to experience. You always went with the flow of what other people wanted. Well, you know, maybe one day I'll want this or that if my partner wants it, if my friends want it, no, you're over that period of your life. That's what's coming to a close. And instead you're being quite decisive. Fifth chakra. I want this, I want that. You know, for example, like maybe you want marriage. Maybe you want to be a thriving, successful business person. Maybe you want to be a stay-at-home parent, you know, whatever. You're saying, this is what I want. I'm taking action on it. and you are no longer waiting for it. The wait is over, group number 1. No longer waiting for the universe to bring it. You're creating it yourself, okay? So incredible month ahead if you take the advice given in this reading, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely use the coupon code June 2025 to get $10 off my month ahead personal reading if you want a personal 30+ minute reading where I'm only connecting with you and your energy, okay? Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers, so make sure you join the community. And if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, link to that is in the description, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, handcrafted. Be careful with them. They're very strong, very powerful for manifestation. And I also have my shamanic life coaching sessions there, which is hour-long video readings every week with daily email correspondence. And the goal with that is 3 months of creating the most insane amount of personal transformation and growth possible. Again, be careful with that. Very powerful. The results that people have gotten working with me as a life coach, like not to toot my own horn, have been insane. So go get that as well. And I also offer my online tarot reading course and my free ebook. All of that's linked down below. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome. You guys selected the Dalmation Jasper, and this stone is literally just fun. It reminds you that life isn't so serious and we should stop and be silly, have fun, focus on entertainment, and it's a really powerful stone. If life has felt very heavy for you, you've been on this healing journey, you've been constantly like down in your mood. It's a very strong, I think it's a very powerful stone for inviting more fun and less tension, seriousness into your life. So month of June, because you selected group number 2, because you selected this stone, may be one filled with travel, laughter, love, and lightheartedness, you know, just going out on the night and enjoying your time, going out on day trips, etc., etc. I love it. So first card out, this is from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I use this tarot deck as an oracle deck because it is there's a lot of messages, a lot of meaning in each card. So your card out is the 10 of Water. Yes, and we see here, first off, this little moon, you have the waning and waxing moon with the full moon in the middle. This is a symbol of Hecate, the deity. She rules over magic and liminal spaces. So it's really great for anybody who loves tarot or anything witchy, shamanic. So that may resonate with a lot of you right off the bat. And there's even, this woman is having there's like a headpiece that illuminates her third eye. And we have the sea turtle spirit, which is very powerful. Spirit guide that may be working with you at this time. The sea turtle is all about emotional flow and protection as well. It's just a turtle spirit in general is just so powerful and such a beautiful spirit to connect with. But let me read to you what this card means from the book. The keywords here are universal love, divine connection, centeredness, serenity, peace, oneness, boundaries, and disruption. The 10 of Water symbolizes both a beginning and an ending. It is that moment when we let go of emotions that bind us to the past and find ourselves truly living in the present for the first time. It is a feeling of divine connection with all and everything, feeling and knowing that love dwells at the very core of our beings and always has. I want to pause and say, for a lot of you guys, and especially because this waning and waxing moon is here with the full moon in the center, these past few months, you may have been experiencing some emotional processing and grief, you know, doing a lot of emotional internal landscape work, right? De-weeding your emotional gardens and planting new seeds there, just doing a lot of intense emotional healing work, right? So I just want to acknowledge that. If that resonates with you, this is definitely your reading. And the month of June, you are returning back to that present moment and really enjoying what's right in front of you. It symbolizes a period of time when we can move through life with a serene sense of ease and fluidity. Even when surrounded by turmoil or conflict, when the weight of past emotions is released and everything flows in the manner it's meant to. You know, something I'm seeing here is that you may have had to let go of something. And it was really difficult for you to actually let go, like let your grip go, but life requires a loose grip. When we cling on tightly to either like a relationship or something that is exiting our life, and we even can consciously acknowledge that it's best that it leaves, it's best if it goes. There's a lot, like you still have that desire to hold on to that past form, that past self of yourself, that past version of you that had that thing, had that relationship, whatever. We might even miss the past and be like, oh my gosh, I want it. But the 10 of water says we can have those feelings and still let it go and acknowledge that it's best in the past, and that's fine. It's fine. And move through those emotional moods and states with fluidity and ease and not choosing to grip on tightly, not choosing to let our action or our emotions dictate our actions, but instead just move through these different chapters of life with so much grace. I don't know. There's a strong emotional mastery here for you, group number 2. And I really feel like a lot of you guys may be getting some emotional assistance recently. And this could be going to therapy, getting a life coach, taking on journaling. This could also be nutritional, personal example, I just started taking magnesium, never realized I must have been severely deficient in magnesium my whole life because my mood has really stabilized. And first off, side note here, if any of you have a uterus and you have horrendous PMS where you're like PMSing for half of the month, look into your magnesium levels. That's all I'm going to say because, man, it was a game changer. Anyways, when the weight of past emotions is released and everything flows in the manner it's meant to, our emotional state now influences our life in a positive way that makes it easy to see and understand how powerful we truly are when we divest ourselves of emotional hooks to the past that only serve to limit and restrict us. So yes, there is a release, a mental release. Like you're acknowledging, listen, it's okay to miss our toxic exes. It's okay to miss people who have passed away. It's okay to miss the past and think about the past. But we can remove those hooks and free ourselves from what is no longer meant to be in our life. If it was meant to be in your life, it would be in your life. You know what I mean? And it could be very restrictive and really block some blessings when we cling onto old forms, onto the past. To know yourself to the extent that you understand why you feel as you do, and then realize that you have the choice to react in a different way, is to have control over the energy that you project. Instead of creating a reality that is a reflection of unconscious emotional energy, the 10 of water lets you know that you can now consciously project your feelings and create a future of your choosing. Have you ever noticed how someone can alter the energy of an entire room of people just by walking in and smiling? One smile, a kind gesture, a moment of attention and genuine interest can change a person's whole demeanor in a heartbeat. Some people seem to have an almost tangible connection to everything and everyone, and a single word or glance can bring joy. And that is so true because everything in your reality is a reflection of you, and you're connected to it. And when you acknowledge this on an extremely psychic and conscious level, you can, in a positive way, manipulate the energies. Let's take your home, for example. Everything in that home contributes to the feeling, to your vibe, and it is a reflection of you, and it's like a back and forth dance. So for example, if you have a room that's kind of dingy and dark and depressing, you have the power to paint that room, put some ambient lighting, some soft blankets, some music, etc., completely change the energy that room emits. And because you can now enjoy that room, your energy is changed as a result as well. And then, it's a back and forth dance between you, your internal feelings and energy, and external reality. 10 of water shows you mastering that consciously. And you are influential. You are now deciding that instead of just going along with emotions, going along with the flow, you have the power to choose the direction that your life takes. So the month of June is very powerful when it comes to you waking up to your spiritual and psychic abilities. Just like how in this card, right? She is influencing the flow, influencing the energy powerfully, like the deity that she is. You, group number 2, you are your own deity. You are your own powerful spiritual being. When the Ten of Water appears in the cards before you, she represents a state of serene grace that is achievable if you desire it. By consciously embracing a positive mindset and focusing on living a joyful life in this moment on this day and each day that follows, you can influence everything around you in the same positive manner. It is not about denying those influences that create discord and disharmony. Instead, it is about choosing not to allow them to disrupt your life or steal your happiness. Exactly. There's still going to be challenges. There's still going to be annoying people in the world. You can't get rid of that, but you can decide that those annoying influences and people are not going to make you unhappy. They're not going to put a damper on your spirit. It is about starting each day with a smile, greeting everyone you meet with kindness, and focusing your attention on the things that bring you peace and joy. Very beautiful message. So group number 2, you are stepping into your spiritual power this month. I feel that very strongly. And, this may come after a time of sort of, I want to say like relapsing into like a letting something sort of affect your happiness and your future planning deeply, some sort of thought, feeling, emotion, a hook from the past may have temporarily caused some emotional discord for you or your relationships, and you've overcome that. And there's a lot of happiness in the month of June for sure, especially since you selected the Dalmation Jasper as well. Wow! You have Hagala's in reverse. That's crazy because group number 1 also had Hagala's in reverse, and there's like, what are the chances? What are the chances that you would get the same exact rune in the same exact position? Okay. So clearly this is a collective energy and vibe that we're all dealing with in the month of June. Hagala's is the rune of disruption. Okay. When it comes out in reverse, it really hones in on that message we just gave where it's like, you can be the one who decides, like you're the gatekeeper to your own peace. You decide what external influences are allowed in or are blocked, right? So other people's drama and difficulties and like dealing with difficult people, you can, let them disrupt and disturb your day and make you upset and you get all sad about it and you ruminate on it for the rest of the day. Or you can literally laugh it off and be like, wow, that person's crazy. Anyways, you know what I mean? It's like you can be unbothered like that. You can make that choice too. So it's like, what's parts of your external reality? And also, sorry, I don't know why I forgot to silence my phone and I just have it dinging. Some of you guys may be having some communication news and messages come in for you in the month of June quite a bit. But Hagala's reverse, it is saying like you create your own disruptions. What you allow to disturb your peace and disrupt your progress in life, like that's up to you. Okay, because everything going on externally, like really truly, nobody can affect you unless you allow them to affect you. And that's a spiritual truth and principle that I like teaching, especially to new mediums, people who are just having like a mediumship awakening, because it's like, yeah, sure, there's demons, there's negative energies, but they can't hurt you unless you let them. People can't curse you unless you let them. That's all up to you. But the same thing applies to things that are incarnate, to the people who are alive, the situations you do find yourself in. It's like those things can't bother you unless you let them. So if something is bothering you, you may want to do some soul searching there and understand, why is this bothering me? Why do I let this bother me? You know what I mean? That's the wisdom of Hagala's coming out in reverse. You have rest and rejuvenation in reverse as well. Try not to shame yourself for wanting and needing rest, okay? Remember, guys, if you select the group number 2, I feel that you have just done a lot of emotional maturing shifts and changes. That's exhausting. And you may find that in the recent past, you were sort of so preoccupied with that other things may have been put on pause, right? And it's like now you kind of have shifted so much has exited your life, and there's so many dreams and goals in mind, ideas in mind that you have for yourself. So like a future that you're building towards. And right now you may find yourself in between those two things, in between the old you, the old hooks that used to be in you that tied you to the past, versus the beautiful, emotionally fulfilling future that lies ahead of you, right? You may be in between those two spaces. And coming out of the darkness, your nervous system may have gone through a lot. Like if you've done so much emotional processing, so much inner work, that's really hard on your nervous system, right? So if you're feeling drawn to more relaxing activities right now and just kind of doing nothing and not being as productive as you would typically be, don't shame yourself for that, okay? Get more sleep, let yourself rest, listen to the signs of your body. Like if you're getting sick, if you are just not having the energy, rest. We have the thinking woman upright. Beautiful. I think so much emotional clarity and new ideas may be finding you in the month of June. I feel like answers are coming towards you. Also, you may be connecting with people who are really well-read, intelligent, especially feminine energies, feminine people who are incredibly intelligent, and they may really inspire you in some way, give you some new ideas, new ways of thinking about things. I go through seasons of my life where I love meeting new people, and every new person I meet, they always give me something new. Like whether that's like a new recipe that I like make a staple in my life, or they teach me something. Like I remember I went on this date with someone once, right? And we were like having a picnic and they brought pomegranate, and I actually have never eaten a pomegranate before I met that person. We never ended up working out. Like we went on like maybe 2 dates, but I always ate pomegranate after that person. And that's such a stupid, simple example. But I'm feeling the month of June, there's a lot of exploration. There's a lot of like new ideas that are coming in that may change your life, even if it's something small like that, you know? So let's see. We have the 9 of Pentacles coming out in reverse. So you may not be 100% pleased and happy and content with the amount of time and money you have left over at the end of the day right now. And that may be something that you are looking to improve. Like you just don't really feel like you have the energy or the finances to like really, really live in the luxury that you want to live in. So that is one key theme that you may be working on. We have the Tower coming out. Yeah. Guys, I feel like there's some pretty big things that have been breaking down in your life. You know, releasing the past has been a big one. Okay. And actually for some of you, this is a really specific message. There may be some financial ties to releasing the past. Like, for example, if you're going through a divorce, you may be having to pay some fees or whatever associated with that this month. And, you know, you're just happy to let go, happy to release the past and move towards a new future. I feel like happiness is here. Like this 10 of water, 10 of cups energy, this is like truly happiness, long-term emotional happiness, love. It's here as a result of these Tower moments. Letting go, breaking down the parts of your life that were really toxic and not serving you. So this is just an acknowledgement, a nod to that and all that you've been through. And that's, again, like a great reminder that it's okay to rest. It's okay to sleep and relax because you've been going through so many Tower moments that are bringing you to a longer term, healthier and happier future. We have Justice. Yeah, here, that's what I'm saying. Some of you guys, like, you may be doing something legal. Okay, going through like divorce, custody agreements, going through a lawsuit. I don't know what the heck. Or even like this could be having to do with like taxes, paperwork. There's something here, but it will all end up in your favor. Whatever binding agreements you are working on or going through right now, it will work out in your favor because you're approaching it from a place of high integrity. And you'll get what you want for sure. I love it. So we have the Knight of Wands. Yes, this is just happiness, guys. You're flirty, and I don't know why I just want to say 30, flirty and fun. Maybe some of you guys are in your 30s. I don't know. But I'm just seeing like with all of the heaviness and release and like healing you've been doing, the month of June, you're also just wanting to have fun, go out and like sort of balance that heaviness with some fun, some rest as well. We have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, there is an element here of like wanting more money for sure. Wanting to increase your prosperity. Okay, and I feel, well, first off, if you felt drawn to group number 1 at all, I highly recommend watching that group because that group had a lot to do with finances and personal goals. Let's see what else comes out. We have the 4 of Cups upright. Yeah. You're in a very liminal space right now, group number 2, a very transitional space, and you are sort of entering into a chapter that is going to offer more long-term stability and success. And with that, you will be more prosperous, okay? But for right now, first off, you need to accept any help that comes your way, okay? With these 2 cards here, universe is trying to bring you help, make things easier for you. Make sure you accept help. Like these people, they're out in the cold, suffering for no reason. They can go in this building and get the help they need. And we even see here this woman who is like fat and prosperous and happy, walking away from this building happy with her sack full of food and prosperity that she needs, right? And then there's these people who are literally starving, skinny as heck, and it's like they're suffering for what? They can go in this building and get fat and happy too. But they're not. They're refusing the help. So when this card comes out in reverse, group number 2, where are you refusing help? Where are you not getting the help that you need? Okay, that's one area that I would really focus on. Okay, let yourself rest, let yourself receive. It will do wonders for you as you move through this liminal space into your long-term happiness and prosperity, okay? So that is your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely use the coupon code June 2025 to get $10 off of the month ahead reading that I offer, one-on-one, 30 plus minutes, where I'm only tapping into you, your energy, and your month ahead, okay? So like this video as well, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe if you have not already. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers, so join the community. Welcome. And if you want a personal reading, there's many personal readings I have on my website, spiritpsychic.org. Check it out. I also have my homemade intention oils there. They are very powerful for manifesting, so be careful if you get them, okay? I also have my Shamanic life transformation coaching there. The goal with that is to create the maximum amount of life transformation in 3 months' time, and you will get an hour-long personal reading focusing on whatever you want every single week, daily email correspondence, and I work with you heavily one-on-one to bring you the most elevation, the most soul growth and transformation as possible within that time. So it's very intense work. You know, if you want to work at that level, if you're ready for that level of intense growth, check it out. And I also have my online tarot reading course there as well. If you want to learn how to read tarot like me and tap into your mediumship and even start your own spiritual business. So all of those things are linked down below. Check them out. Bye-bye. Okay, group number 3, welcome. You guys selected the Cherry Quartz. Cherry Quartz is a man-made stone. It is made from regular quartz, and it goes through some process that I'm not going to go into detail in, but Cherry Quartz specifically is known to transmute any sort of negative emotions from the heart chakra. So things like jealousy, anxiety, relationship issues, things like that. This is a powerful stone for healing. And I don't care that it's man-made, okay? Whether it's natural, whether it's man-made, it is still made from nature because humans are nature, right? So just as powerful. And in fact, since I have got this Cherry Quartz, I have really stabilized some hormonal imbalances that were creating emotional problems for me. So I think it's actually quite a powerful stone. And if you selected group number 3, I feel like there is some incredible leveling up happening in your emotional life, your emotional regulation, as well as your relationships. I feel like there's big energies being transmuted positively with your heart chakra. So very beautiful message there. And let's see what tarot card is coming out. This is from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I use this deck more as an oracle deck because the messages run really, really deep. So group number 3, you have the Sensual, and this is an interesting one. So in this deck, the court cards are a little bit different. They don't follow the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith format. So I'm going to actually read to you what this card means. But generally speaking, when we have a court card, there is a lot of energies that may be happening and coming through socially for you. So the people in your life are going to be very significant this month. And let's just take a look at this card visually and maybe discern some meaning from that. So we have someone here connected to nature. There are some keys on a ring next to either side of their face. Where their third eye chakra is, they have a sword pointing upward, which represents mental clarity. We have some acorns and gold coins. This represents prosperity. And we have the dog spirit here, which is loyalty, consistency. And this really is a card of deep loyalty, right? And we have the ant spirits here as well, which is also very much known for their loyalty and hard work, working as a group, working as a team. And we have some ivy down here as well, which is quite resilient and abundant. So there's messages here about prosperity, new doors opening for you, as well as a sense of loyalty. So let's read about it. The keywords here are servant, administrator, mediator, justice, law, organized, trustworthy, and loyal. The Sensual of Earth represents the service to king and country. The Sensual is a trusted servant who has access to and control over all within his lord's domain. He, while being of noble blood himself, is in service to and speaks for the one above him. His duties are many. He is respected by some and feared by others, for he holds the keys to both the treasury and the dungeon. He is both judge and mediator within the halls and lands of the kingdom. He upholds the law and metes out justice in the name of his lord or lady. The Sensual also controls his master's wealth, giving payment to those who are owed and collecting taxes from those who owe. So basically, it's like the ruler of the lands, person who carries out all of the tasks, basically. The right-hand man, or woman. The Sensual of Earth represents a person in service, not to the many, but to one. His role is multifaceted, and every task is performed with care. He is the master organizer and possesses both intelligence and a quick mind. He is a person who sets aside leadership aspirations in order to be the trusted representative of the one who leads. His position places great responsibility on his shoulders, but he is committed and dedicated. The Sensual represents a willingness or necessity to obey the rules or directions of those in charge and to put aside personal beliefs and opinions. This card asks that you use your personal power wisely. If you have the ear and favor of those who are in positions of power, you in turn have the power to bring happiness or harm. What do you choose to do? So I'm getting multiple messages from this. Number 1, I feel like you guys who selected group number 3 are actually in this Sensual position for Mother Earth herself. And so you may have a great responsibility of carrying over your little corner, or taking care of your little corner of the planet. Okay, so if you have a home, if you have a yard, or even if you just rent a room or something like that, the people who are connected to you, your friends or family, you are acting as the Sensual for spirit, for Mother Earth, to bring about the highest levels of harmony and peace in that area and make it as beautiful and blessed as possible, right? So you are having that responsibility and that power as well. Another message that I'm picking up here, you guys who selected group number 3 may have quite a strong contact in your network. Okay, so you may be connected to somebody who wields a lot of power and can grant really big opportunities to people. Now, I don't know who this is for you specifically because it'll look different for all of you. This could be a boss and you're like their favorite person. This could be just a regular networking contact you have. This could be a friend. This could be really anybody. You are connected to some powerful people. Okay, so see the power that resides in the people that you're connected to And not from like a manipulative place of like, well, how can I use this to my advantage? But more so from a place of like, well, how can I make the most of this? Because that really is life, you know? You have your own power that you offer, your own wisdom, and other people have theirs. So it's like, when you really work together as a team and you really allow help in from the people around you, life becomes so much easier and you're much better able to get things done. So how can you work better with others, really is the question here. Okay. And that connects in beautifully with matters of the heart, with the cherry quartz that you selected. You know, creating beautiful energies between you and others, and also just emotionally, generally, for yourself, may bring you the most luck. So let's pull a rune. Wow, you have Isa coming out from the runes. You are the only group that had a different rune, because groups 1 and 2 had Hagalaz in reverse, which was weird. But you have Isa upright coming out. Now, Isa is the ice rune, and it represents that right now, going into June, life might be a little bit quiet, you know, a little bit boring or status quo for you. And there's actually a great wisdom to be found in that, okay? So if things have been quite quiet, like if your friends, for example, have been quite busy with their own lives, or there's just not much going on, that is actually a really good thing. I'm feeling like life is quiet, right? And I don't know why in my mind, I just got like the visual and experience of like being out in the forest and all you can hear is the wind blowing in the trees and some like distant birds, and it's just quiet. Life feels very quiet, but in a peaceful way. And I got the feeling with that image in my head of like, okay, this land is mine to work with and do whatever I want with. A feeling of like, okay, how can I best support the ecosystem, the birds, the pollinators, make this a magical place? How can I befriend everything here that already exists? How can I nurture what exists here? So there's this feeling of you being a steward or stewardess of a space or the land that you have. So for example, if you have like a condo, a house, an apartment, even like a car, even anything, you may be really pulled to make the most of it. You know, if you have an old house, restoring it to its historical value. If you have an old bike, you know, taking good care of that. Even like flipping furniture, you know, recently videos have been popping up for me. These people, they either go trash picking or they get furniture from the thrift store and they restore it to its glory. It's like an art, right? I don't know why I'm seeing restoration and like restoration magic, being this stewardess or steward of life. You know, I feel like Mother Earth herself is handpicking you, selecting you to have a greater responsibility for this sort of earthly stewardship, which is such a blessing, because with that comes a lot of perks, right? The more you can take care of, the more Mother Earth will give you. And I found this out personally myself. So for example, if you haven't seen my video on how to manifest your dream house, I highly recommend watching it. But like, it's so accurate. When you make the absolute most of the places that you live or the objects that you have, or, you know, whatever, like you just take really, really good care of it and you make the absolute most of it, Mother Earth will give you more to manage. And that includes money. That includes space. That includes friends. It's like when you are managing something to perfection, life will hand you more to manage. So for example, let's just say you have a rinky-dink apartment, you don't really like it. However, you make it the most beautiful apartment that you can. It's enjoyable. It's like you feel like, and your time in that space, in that location, you're making the most of it. Like, let's just say you live in a rinky-dink neighborhood too. You find the best of that rinky-dink neighborhood and you really romanticize your life there and enjoy it. It really reminds me, so years ago, I saw Rise Against in concert, and the singer was talking about how, you know, when he had no money, he lived in a house with a bunch of people, and they would just like sit on the porch and spend all their time talking and hanging out there. And despite not having money, like they really made the most of living in that situation. And I feel like that is a great example of romanticizing the life that you currently have, blooming where you're currently planted. And once you are fully blooming and thriving and you love life where you're currently planted, the world will give you more or a new opportunity, right? And so that's what it means to be a steward or stewardess of the land and of your space, making the absolute most of what you got. So if you have a home and there's just rooms that are empty, you're not doing anything with it, it's like, okay, well, why would the world give you a bigger home in a nicer location when you're not even using what you currently got? You know, and I really am a firm believer in that because I see it all the time. It's like, well, why would we give you a better situation, a newer car, when you're not even taking care of the one you got, you know? So with Isa, the ice rune coming out, life may be quiet, but I would highly recommend enjoying that quietness, you know, giving your nervous system space to rest and relax and just be creative. We have anxiety, exactly. So anxiety, the cherry quartz, I really do feel like you're getting anxiety under control in the month of June, or you're probably receiving a lot of information when it comes to how to get your anxiety under control, okay? Whether that is through supplementation and making sure that your hormones are balanced, or meditation, getting quiet, improving your environment to be supportive of your mental health, whatever the case may be, any anxiety cycles that you find yourself in. I feel like the month of June is bringing you mental clarity when it comes to how to be a better servant of your own body and mind and to take better care of that, right? So we have the thinking man coming out as well. I really feel like there's a strong masculine presence in your life. This could be somebody of significance to you who may be bringing you an opportunity, and he's carrying a quartz here. It looks like a clear quartz. So I do feel like there may be a man in your life who has more resources or knowledge or some sort of power in some area of life than you do, who may be granting you a really awesome opportunity or giving you a great idea or something like that, making your life easier in some way. I really do feel that for some reason. So pay close attention to any opportunities that come your way this month, because I feel like they are golden, okay? Also, another thing I'm seeing here with the thinking man upright, there could be, and especially with this central card with this sword at the third eye, there may be some really life-changing, groundbreaking ideas that come through that may open up new doors for you. I keep coming back to this theme of like new doors opening up, or people in your network may be helping you to open new doors. So networking is just, I don't know, a word that keeps coming out in your reading. It's really important to, like, you don't have to be this extravagantly charismatic individual in order to meet people who want to work with you. And it's like not even just career related. Like, let's just say you're in a career that's like mostly solo activity, right? It's like your friends, your family, the people you connect with, they are a part of your support system. And it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, you need a strong support system in order to ensure your success. Because if you try to do everything alone, it's just not going to work. And, you know, that's the importance of, like, for example, like you have multiple doctors for multiple things. And those doctors, they all study a specific part of the body. And it's like you go to them for their knowledge, their wisdom. You don't try to become a master at all of these different areas of life. Because when you're trying to be an island like that, you're not really going to see the success that you want. Let other people succeed where they succeed and be more knowledgeable and powerful than you in different areas of life, and lean to them for resource and help and opportunity to make your life easier. And you focus on being the steward or stewardess of your own life, your own body, and your own specialties. We have, if I could flip these cards over, the Nine of Pentacles upright. Okay, beautiful. So I am seeing a return back to a state of mind and a state of existence where the world is really offering you all and more than you need. You have more than you need right now. More space, more money, more energy. And you may disagree with me, but hear me out. if you're not making the most of what you currently have, then you technically are living in excess right now. If you're not making the most of what you currently have, you are currently living in excess. This is a really hard concept to wrap your head around if you're really deep in like poverty mindset. And I know about this personally because there were years in my life early on in my business where I was literally in poverty. Like I made less than $10,000 a year, less than $5,000 a year in some cases, which is very extreme for where I live. And at the time, I did have quite an abundance in some areas of life, but I could not for the life of me see it. I was very, very abundant in ideas, business ideas. I was extremely abundant in like art supplies, and I was abundant in makeup, which is weird, but there's a weird backstory to that. And I was having a hard time seeing that abundance because I was very deep in the I don't have enough mindset, right? And since I was in that I don't have enough mindset, I wasn't taking action on the abundance of ideas I had in my mind for how to grow and expand. For years of my life, I didn't really do anything except for survive in the status quo of where I was at, which was not a place that I wanted to be. Okay, so Isa, you may feel like, you don't have that much going on right now. Oh, I don't have that much money. I don't have that much friends, whatever. Fill in the blank, whatever you don't have enough of. You actually do have an abundance of something somewhere. And I feel like in the month of June, you are tapping into that abundant resource. And when you tap into that abundant resource, it spreads, For example, when I started tapping into the abundance of ideas I had in my mind and started taking action on them, one thing led to another. With every single idea I took action on, I was led to networking contacts that changed my life. I was led to new ideas to take action on. I was led to more abundance, more money, more whatever, more everything. And that's the point. That is the importance of taking action. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. Exactly. I mean, this card is literally like the universe is handing you an opportunity. And in this card in the After Tarot, he's literally pouring it out. So be careful of wasting a golden opportunity. Sometimes the opportunity is self-sourced as an idea that you need to take action on. Queen of Pentacles, right next to that Nine of Pentacles. Guys, you guys are most likely going to be having a big increase, a big jump in your income in the month of June as a result of what we're talking about. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. See how it like back and forth this is? Where it's like wasting opportunities and not receiving the help that is here for you, staying stuck in that lack mindset. We're talking about these things. But then on this side, we have abundance, we have success. So that to me shows that a pretty big jump in your prosperity is available to you in the month of June. However, those of you who selected group number 3, not all of you are going to be taking it. Some of you guys may accidentally remain a little bit too stuck in the lack mindset where you're not seeing the opportunities that are in front of you. Okay, what ideas do you currently have? Take action on them. What people do you know who can easily help you with whatever problem you got going on? Contact them, ask them about it. Okay, what space do you have in your life right now that is ripe for opportunities? A blank slate. When I was in my deepest lack of mindset, I literally had lost all of my friends. I had no money. And I was looking at life like I had literally nothing and I was so depressed, but I really had everything because I had a complete blank slate. There was so much room in my life for growth and so much time, free time that I had because I didn't have these things, And so when I started tapping into what I did have, which was those ideas and the supplies, the tools to make them, oh my God, things have changed. And I feel that you're presented with the option of that. Will you continue to remain in your lack mentality and not reach out and accept the help that life gives you, or even worse, reject the help that life gives you? Or will you finally experience that financial and physical abundance that you have been wanting? We have the Page of Cups in reverse. And we have the Empress in reverse right next to that Five of Pentacles. Guys, I feel like you're really faced with a karmic decision this month. Will you stay stuck in your anxiety where you're ruminating and on this repetitive thought loop of I don't have enough? Or will you break free from that and see the opportunity that exists for you right here in the moment, in the present moment, for you to step into your abundance right here and right now? And there's no waiting period. Abundance mindset, it's like that. You know, the second you start focusing on what you do have as opposed to what you don't have, you will step into that abundance timeline and so much can change so rapidly for you. Okay, you're not stuck. There's no need to ruminate. A choice is here, and I really feel like if you choose correctly, group number 3, the month of June will be incredibly prosperous for you. Such a major shift in energies, like especially when it comes to your financial and physical resources. Yeah, because life wants to bless you. And this all like aligns with like on so many levels, like the world will bless you as you make the most of your living situation. You make the most of the relationships that are working for you. You make the most of the ideas that you have. And it's like on all levels, you do that, the world's gonna be like, okay, well, I want to give you more to be in charge of, more to manage, more money, more resources to work your magic with, you know? So step into that essential role, but for the world. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, group number 3. Definitely use the coupon code June 2025 to get $10 off of a personal month ahead reading with me. Okay, that's 30 plus minutes where I'm only connecting with your energy, doing a month ahead reading. And like this video, comment how it resonated down below, subscribe if you have not already. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers, so let's make it happen. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, I do have multiple types of readings you can get, and they're all pretty guided by your questions, topics, and concerns, whatever burning desires you have and questions that you have, we will cover that. Link is in the description box. I also have my homemade intention oils that are very powerful for manifestation, so be careful. And Shamanic Life Transformation Coaching, which is 3 months of creating the most complete and utter transformation for you. It's very intense. It is my most premium offering. You will get over an hour-long reading every week, daily email correspondence with me, and multiple shamanic tools along the journey. So if you want to work closely with me in that way and create the most crazy levels of change in your life, again, spiritpsychic.org is where you can find that. I have one position open for that. So that can go to one person right now. And I also have my online tarot reading course there. If you want to learn how to read tarot like me, open up your mediumship abilities, and even start your own spiritual business, go get that. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.